So, hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Jonnychipz Weekly. My name is John Lunn, aka Jonnychipz, and today is Friday, the 7th of October 2022. We got a usual show for you. Let's get into it. This is episode number 91, Blue. So yes, welcome everybody. Hope you've all had a fantastic week, whatever you've been up to this week. Like I say, my name is John Lunn, and we're going to do the Jonnychipz Weekly Show again. Usual format again this week. We're on episode number 91. We're on that countdown to the big 100. So let's get into it. Without further ado, let's do some community call-outs. Okay, first up, all about Ignite. April Edwards has just reminded us last week, well, yesterday, I think this was tweeted out, to get signed up for the Ignite sessions, which are happening all next week. So if you head on over to the aka.ms/Ignite UK, you can get yourselves registered and signed up for Ignite, which is set to be a fantastic session. You can do it virtually. Depending where you are in the world, you can do one of the spotlight sessions. So there is a session in the UK up in Manchester that you can get yourselves to. Or, of course, I'm not sure where we stand with availability now, but for those lucky peeps heading off to Seattle, hope you all have a fantastic time. I'm very jealous. I wish I was going to Seattle. But yeah, get yourselves registered, aka.ms/Ignite UK. Get on that. In the same theme, Adam Jackson has tweeted out to remind us all that there are cloud skills challenges available for us to jump into. I'll click on this now. You can see the kinds of challenges that are available. So there are 7 challenges. You can earn yourselves a Microsoft exam voucher to go and get your exam passed. Intelligent cloud, AI automation, field service automation, cloud developer, protect everything challenge, modern work, and a cloud app maker challenge. So there's 7 in total. Go and get yourselves signed up to one of them, and like I say, if you complete, I believe it's if you complete one of the challenges. Once you complete that challenge, you'll earn a free Microsoft certification exam that can be applied to your choice from the selected list of options. So there are choices that you can use that voucher on. So go and check that out anyway, have a read. Browsing over to that link, aka.ms/Ignite UK/CSC. Yeah, thanks for that, Adam. Next up, Sander. Thank you for curating a list of all the IoT sessions for Microsoft Ignite 2022. If you follow Sander on any platform, you'll know he's a fantastic advocate of all things IoT. He's got a brilliant blog website. I suggest you go and follow him if you are interested in any form of IoT learnings and things like that. Sander's doing a fantastic amount of talks across community, and like I say, he's got his blog and he does stuff like this. So curating the list of IoT sessions. So if we give that a little click, we can see Sander's pulled together all the top sessions on IoT this year. So go and give that a little look-see and get yourselves following Sander. Next up, yes, so very close to Ignite, we've got the South Coast Summit is returning this year on the 15th of October. They got some pre-days as well going on there, on I believe the 13th and 14th. But if you're not registered, it's down at the Ageas Bowl in Southampton on the 15th of October. Like I say, there are some pre-days that you can attend. I believe they're doing an in-person watch event for some of the Ignite sessions as well, if you want to get yourselves down there for that. But you can see there, the community zone, exhibitor hall, over 110 speaker sessions. It's free to attend. Get yourselves registered, South Coast Summit 2022.eventbrite.co.uk. And yeah, get yourselves down there and get involved. Going to be a great event, undoubtedly. Next up, Chris Reddington. He's off to DevOps in Belgium, and he's just given us a bit of a hint at the kind of sessions that he's taking now. So we can see here he's doing a session on end-to-end inner sourcing and secure development with GitHub, and he's doing another session on this whole thing around when devs do some work. It worked on my machine. It was always going from that kind of mindset to, well, it worked on my machine, to this mindset of, well, it was written by a machine. So he's talking about code spaces and Copilot, that developer kind of engagement and productivity from a developer. Two great sessions. I'm not sure whether they're going to be shown on any other platform other than they're live in person. But if you are heading out to DevOps, have a great time. Go and catch up with Chris. I'm sure going to be doing some fantastic sessions. If you're not following Chris, there's his Twitter handle, Redo Boehm, if you go and give him a follow on Twitter. So yeah, thanks for that, Chris. Next up, Ethan's been doing some great stuff around the community with events and user group sessions. So there's another session starting up, first session ever for the Yorkshire DevOps Meetup on the 17th of October. So in about 10 days' time, 6 p.m. in Sheffield. If you can join, please do go and join. There's the Meetup link there. Mark Sales is going to be coming to that session to talk all things DevOps. Like I say, if you can join, go and get yourselves subscribed to the Meetup. Go and follow Ethan where you can get these links. So Sumner Ops on the Twitters. And get involved. If you are up that neck of the woods, please do get involved. Thanks for that, Ethan. Next up, this caught my eye the other day, actually, because I'm going to be talking to a lot of colleagues about the AZ104, the Azure Admin exam, fairly soon. And I thought this was a great kind of diagram from Tim Warner. He's put together pretty much every element that he's talked about on the skills measured for the 104 exam, the Azure 104 exam. And, he's kind of represented there in icon form so that you can kind of talk about it as part of the 104 criteria. So what he's saying is that if you understand each of these components to a decent level, then you're pretty much in good stead for the 104 examination. So I thought it was a great little representation of the stuff that gets talked about and how it gets talked about. So I'm going to be taking a borrow of that, Tim. So thanks for tweeting that out. Really is appreciated. If you don't know Tim Warner in the community, then you probably should be following him already. He's probably one of the most prolific trainers out there in the Microsoft world. Go and give him a follow on the Twitters, Tech Trainer Tim, and especially if you are looking to get into more of your learning journey, then you can't go too far wrong with Tim. He's got some awesome sessions and he does some great Pluralsight courses, and the content that he shares with the community is fantastic like this. So thank you very much, Tim. Next up, an Azure Cosmos DB Liftoff. So I've been doing a fair amount of learnings myself behind the scenes, primarily with object detection and IoT type based projects, but certainly in and around Cosmos DB. So I'm going to be attending this myself. It's in just under 2 weeks' time. It's a couple of hours, I believe. The times are in Pacific time there. So what's that? I can't remember. That's going to be kind of late afternoon for the UK. But Cosmos DB Liftoff. So really get you down and dirty and understanding the depths of Cosmos DB and whatnot. So I'm going to try and attend that myself to get a bit more learnings, and you should too if you're interested in those kinds of areas. So thank you for that, the Cosmos DB team. Next up, just quick change of thought really, but I've nominated people in the past who become MVPs. I've nominated another few people a couple of months back now, and it's just fantastic to hear. Like I tweeted out, it's great to hear the people that I'd gone and nominated for their great efforts and their great community contributions. I've actually gone and been awarded the MVP accolade, which is great. So quick shout out to Jake Walsh. Well done, Jake. Thoroughly deserved it. I've been speaking with Jake on and off for the last couple of years probably, and Jake has just been so consistent with his level of blogging, his level of community interaction, blogging in and around the world of DevOps and Terraform and infrastructure as code. Some great articles. If you're not following Jake, do go and give him a follow now and follow his blog. And I'm sure there's more fantastic things to come from Jake as well. So congratulations, matey, thoroughly deserved. And catch you very soon. And next one is a colleague of mine, Andy Jones. Again, really, chuff for Andy. He's part of the cloud management community. He's been in the community now again for a couple of years, doing various bits and pieces, whether it's blog articles, it's how-to videos, whether it's just interacting with the community on endpoints and device management, fundamentally, and security. So He's been awarded the MVP for Enterprise Mobility. Yeah, couldn't be more chuffed for him. So congrats, Andy. Thoroughly deserved. Look forward to catching up over the coming weeks and months and seeing how you fit into the whole MVP fire hydrant, fire hose of knowledge. So yeah, just wanted to end the community call out with those two with those two accolades. So congrats both, and of course to all the other MVPs in the community. You're all doing fantastically. Thank you for all the knowledge that you share with the community, and yeah, please don't stop. Keep it coming because it's helping us all. So there we go. Let's head back on over. Okay, so just a quick run through of what's going on in the world of the Welsh Azure user group. So our next session is on the 19th of October, which is a week on Wednesday. Got two awesome speakers. Mark Doiker's joining us to talk around Azure Functions and Durable Functions, the quest for serverless WebSockets, an adventure with Azure Functions and Durable Functions. So looking forward to that session from Mark. And then we've got Debasis Saha coming on to talk about Azure Cosmos DB. So a brief note for developers. So you can kind of see the way this is more of a dev type focus session, but there's so many overlaps between dev and kind of like that IT pro world, sysadmin type world that some of these sessions they don't hurt everybody to kind of get a good level of knowledge about. So anyhow, if you are interested in coming and learn a little bit about those areas, please do join us on the 19th. Give me a follow at Walsh Azure on Twitter. The links are there to the meetup to RSVP, so you get your Teams link and you can join us on the day. So yeah, that's the Welsh Azure user group for now. And in the same light, just a quick heads up about what I'm doing on the side. So yes, it is Friday. I've calmed down a little bit at the minute with the In Convo with Suze. I'm going to pick that back up soon enough. There's lots going on for me on the side at the moment, if I'm being honest, in terms of I'm going to be making a few announcements in a couple of weeks' time. So big news for me coming up. Stay tuned to find out what that is. But for now, tonight is our 10th episode of When Ops Meets Dev. Awesome Robbie and Swami joining me again to talk about. We've just got a last section of Kubernetes to catch up on before we go through session 10. And session 10 is primarily a recap of the previous 9 sessions to kind of understand where are we. And it's all about that back-end development, the microservices environment. How did we deploy? What kind of methods did we choose to deploy? We went through a number of different ways with using an IDE to kind of develop our microservices, testing it with Postman, deploying it locally using Docker containers, pushing that up to Azure container instances, Azure App Services, and of course Kubernetes. We tried a few different approaches. The setup of that back-end infrastructure with infrastructure as code, things like Terraform, we've tried and gone through in quite an amount of detail. All of this is available on the GitHub repo, which we'll put up in the show as well. But yeah, like I say, episode 10 tonight. So we're going to go through that recap. And I believe after that recap, session 11, we're going to be starting on front-end development, which is going to be cool, certainly from my point of view, because I'm absolutely not a developer in that sense. So really looking forward to kind of getting stuck in on that front-end development piece, making calls to the APIs to populate that front end. Remember, we're building an e-commerce solution, so it's all around that shopping cart type functionality. So if you're interested, come and join us. We have about an hour of interactive live chat and description and demonstration. So I certainly learn a lot from them. So you will too if you want to join us. So that's tonight. Start at 5 p.m. BST. Get yourselves over at the Meetup group and get yourselves RSVP'd. And yeah, hopefully we'll see you there later. Okay, so we are at that point in the show where it is time for the Azure news and updates. So without further ado, let's get into it. And hello, and before we start, I'm just going to make sure that my arm isn't cut off. There we go. Look, got to make sure I can slide myself over a little bit on the desk. I'm in a bit of a wrong position. Oh, Sorry. Okay, so Azure news and updates. Not been a lot going on this week in the wonderful land of Azure. So without further ado, let's just get stuck in and see what those announcements are. So, yeah, first up, the main announcement of this week that caught my eye was all around the Azure Basic, Azure Firewall Basic SKU that's been released into public preview at the moment. So, for those of you that know that the Azure Firewall has been around, predominantly using what they call the standard SKU for a little while now. They released the preview, the premium SKU going back a little while, which introduced a whole heap of other layer 3 type functionality and traffic inspection. Now we've got the basic SKU. So I thought I'd call up this little table just to have a quick look at probably primarily what you don't get with the preview. Can't speak properly. What you don't get with the basic SKU. So it's in public preview at the moment. It's pretty much aimed at those small and medium-sized businesses. You'll notice straight away that the throughput, the scalability of the firewall is a lot lower, where we've got 250 meg per second as opposed to 30 gig with the standard and up to 100 gigs with the premium SKUs. Firewall Basic is very much 250 meg of throughput. You can see we've got everything that's similar to the other SKUs, apart from we don't have any network level fully qualified domain name filtering on ports and protocols. So it's not that, you've not got that that type of host name filtering, if you like. Web filtering, we don't have web filtering, and there's no DNS proxy or custom DNS that we can do with the basic SKU. And then when it comes down to advanced threat protection, yeah, there's really not a whole heap of features in the basic SKU. You only really got in the standard SKU. You only really got you get threat intelligence based filtering based on malicious IPs and domains. You get that alerted by the looks of things with the basic SKU. But really, if you're interested in those advanced threat protection pieces, you're probably talking the premium SKU anyway. Because we've got all of that kind of inbound and outbound TLS termination, fully managed IDPS and URL filtering and SSL termination on there. So the point is, Firewall Basic is there. I've not actually looked at the pricing of this at the moment, but I should imagine it's going to be, a significantly lower piece in terms of that opposed to the firewall standard. Which, look, if you are a small, medium-sized business that doesn't need a huge amount of throughput to your Azure platform, then great, that may absolutely do the job for you. So it's great to see the options that we've got out there. So that was the main kind of announcement this week that caught my eye. And like I say, it's in public preview at the moment. Doesn't take long to set up. No maintenance. There's a central manager. You can use Azure Firewall Manager on the Azure portal. Good one to get started with. So let's move on. Next up, GA, query store hints in Azure SQL database and Azure SQL managed instance. So when you need to go beyond the query optimizer execution plan and manually optimize your queries for specific conditions, the query store hints feature provides an easy to use method for shaping query plans and behavior without changing the application code. So you can experiment with a tight loop by trying different hints and assessing the performance impact, all with the SQL Server Management Studio or Azure Data Studio. Cool to see. Next up, another GA announcement. Azure Ultra Disk Storage is available in China North 3. We've got some Azure Machine Learning GA announcements for this month, where we can configure email notifications from the Azure Machine Learning platform, and we can label text document data using text name entity recognition, NER. Named entity recognition. So that feature enables you to add tags or labels to each word, token, sentence or paragraph within a document, and you can fast track the labeling process using the ML assistant, and you can tag over 100 languages. Cool to see. So there's some GA announcements for Azure Machine Learning. We've also got some public preview updates for this month for Azure Machine Learning. In that we've got the ability in public preview to configure compute instance with a managed identity. We can compare and evaluate quality across models and jobs in Azure ML. And we can also configure auto stop for idle compute instances. Cool to see. And finally, final GA announcement of this week, we've got smart tiering to Vault Archive tier for Azure Backup. So we can now, in GA, we can now configure our backup policy to automate your Vault tier archive, Vault archive tier for Azure VMs, for SQL servers, SAP HANA in virtual machines. It's going to enable the eligible and recommended recovery points are available to you in the case of virtual machines, and then automatically moved that data to the Vault archive tier. This is done periodic and interval timeline and based on the settings mentioned in the policy, and you can also specify a number of days after which you want your recovery points to be moved to the Vault archived tier. That's cool to see. So there's a few screenshots there in the session just showing you that policy and how you can kind of contain that. So enabling tiering down there at the bottom, a little checkbox that you can use to turn on. Cool to see. So there we go. There is the Azure news and updates for this week. Thank you for tuning in. Let's head back on over to my big face. Okay, so thank you everybody for tuning in once again. Been a bit of a short and sweet session this week. Like I say, not too many Azure updates. Have a great weekend, whatever you're up to in the world and wherever you're going. Enjoy and have a great weekend. And I will catch you all next week. Bye for now.